Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Quick update on Tesla stock, Tesla's performance for the first quarter of 2022. Not a great quarter. There's good news, there's bad news. So let's go through it really quick. First of all, these are the production and delivery numbers. What you see is that Tesla only produced 305,000 cars, which is about the same as the last quarter. They delivered 310,000 cars, which is a bit more than the last quarter. It's a beat, arguably, on analyst estimates, but analyst estimates had been lowered earlier on. People expected Tesla to deliver more cars. I expected Tesla to deliver more cars. So, this isn't what we were hoping for. We were hoping for 325,000. I was really hoping for 350,000 vehicles. A lot of headwinds this quarter. That this was an exceptionally difficult quarter due to supply chain interruptions, China's zero COVID policy, outstanding work by Tesla team and key suppliers saved the day. So they had a lot of problems. They did the best they could with it. They made something out of it. They still grew a tiny bit. Zach Kirkhorn had said, and Tesla has been saying, we're going to grow 50%. Just Fremont and Shanghai, we're going to grow 50% in 2022 versus 2021. So you would have expected 10 or 15% growth out of those two factories in the first quarter if you're going to see total of 50% growth over the course of the year. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but it's not the end of the world. It's certainly growth over the first quarter of 2021. It's just we didn't see quarter by quarter growth in any significant way. The upside, you see up here the number 14,724 deliveries of Model S and X. That's about 3,000 more than the previous quarter. So there's certain things about this quarter where the mix shifted from the lower priced 3 and Y to the Model S and X, which are higher priced. So that means higher average selling price. It's a small effect, but it's something. You see that Model 3 and Y had fewer leases. That was 5% in the previous quarter. So more people are buying the cars as opposed to leasing them. Tesla makes more money on a purchase than it makes on a lease. So that's a good sign as well. I'm not saying over the long haul, over the life of the company, but just on quarterly numbers, you would expect Tesla to make more money on a purchase of a vehicle than a lease of a vehicle. Just briefly, we're expecting the financial results to be reported on April 20th. That's a little earlier in the month than often happens. It's usually a week or so later than that. So this is a good sign that we're going to get our details, our update early. Other points about the mix. Prices of Tesla vehicles have been going up. So it's likely that the average selling price, leaving aside the Model S, X versus Model 3 Y shift, prices have been going up on vehicles in general. So probably going to have higher average selling price, higher revenues. You got a few things that are boosting revenue. Number one, you've got Model S and Model X, slight shift to those more expensive vehicles, which are significantly higher priced. Number two, you got purchase over lease. Number three, you've got probably a slight increase in the price of the cars sold. Remember, the cars were ordered before Q1, but there were still some price increases going on compared to previous quarters. So good chance we see some increase in revenue there. And then Tesla seems to have adopted a policy of if you order the car with FSD, you get it delivered sooner. So if FSD deliveries are being shifted forward, then that would also increase average selling price of the vehicle. So there's some positive stories in here. Of course, expenses are going to be up. When you have supply chain issues, Tesla's spending more on the supply chain. They're spending more. The cost of goods sold, the cost of building the cars is going up as well. And they're going to have some increased costs in their numbers for profit in their accounting numbers because they opened Giga Berlin before the end of the quarter. So that means they're going to have to attribute some costs to Q1, and that's probably going to increase costs a little bit as well. I do expect we're going to see 3, 4, 5% jump in revenue compared to the previous quarter. We're going to see, I'm not sure about profit. Profit might hold steady. Margins might hold steady. We'll see what happens there. I'm a little hopeful we're going to see some increase there. It's also possible opening up FSD beta in Canada. Maybe somehow that affects the release of some deferred revenues. A few things there. But overall, I just wanted to stress that this isn't great news. You got to remember, in the context of everything that's going on with other car companies idling car plants, if you're aware of the car market at all, it's really hard to buy a new car. Used cars are selling for more than what people paid for them. I have a 4-year-old Volkswagen Passat that I'm going to be selling soon. When I buy my Model X and give my Model 3 to my daughter who's driving the Passat, we'll sell the Passat. And the Passat will probably sell for $1,000. The Passat will probably sell for close to $20,000. I paid $18,000 for it 4 years ago. There's a really good chance I'm going to sell it for more than I paid for it. That's how crazy the market is. It's got 41,000 miles on it. I'm going to sell it for more than I paid for it. The car market's messed up. The supply chain has messed everything up. But this is not the best quarter. This is probably one of the worst quarters we've had for a while because we don't see the growth that we're used to seeing. Usually Q1 doesn't show a lot of growth compared to Q4, but last year it did. So it's a little bit of a letdown. The bright side is Giga Berlin is up and running. Giga Texas is about to be up and running. So we're going to start seeing some production from those factories. But if there are supply chain issues, are those supply chain issues going to affect production in those new factories? There's a significant chance that's going to be a problem as well. Well, hopefully the supply chain stuff gets worked out. Tesla's able to produce cars in greater volume. We see greater growth. I was really hoping for 350 this quarter, 450, 550, 650, which would take us to 2 million. Pretty clear that 2 million's out of reach now for the year. 1.8 million is looking like a stretch. It all depends on how fast Giga Berlin and Giga Texas ramp and whether there's a supply chain available to support the ramping of those factories. Just a lot of things in the way. The other thing to keep in mind is, yeah, Tesla might not grow as fast as we were hoping, but it's still growing. And I'd rather hold on to a growing company that's making money than hold on to companies that are shrinking and losing money. So even though in the greater scheme of things, you'd like to see Tesla growing fast, where do you want your money when things are tight? You want your money in somebody that's doing something well. So I'm still confident in Tesla, not selling a share, very excited, looking forward to how everything's going. This supply chain stuff is going to be tough on everyone, and Tesla's doing better than anyone at dealing with it. If you like this video, please check out my other videos. Please support this channel on the Locals platform. Please check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. And thank you so much for watching.